Welcome back, everybody. Monty, Tuesday, November 17th, and in class, we're going to continue quadrilaterals, characteristics, and this idea of diagonals and trying to make conjectures. So I've got a parallelogram here, okay? And I already drew the diagonals, 1, 2. And what we're going to be discussing is, are the opposite angles congruent? Actually, in a parallelogram, they are equal. Yes. Next thing we're going to do is I want you to actually have some fun with diagonals and actually take the vertice and connect all the other vertices. Okay? Take the vertice, connect all the other vertices, and see the neat shapes you get. Now, I'd like you to pause the video, and I want you to draw a 5-pointed star and then connect all the vertices. So kind of go in reverse, okay? So pause the video and draw a 5-pointed star, okay? I'm going to do it. Down, over, up, across, down. Once you do that, connect the vertices. Kind of cool, huh? What's the name of this shape? 5-sided object. You know the name of that shape? Pentagon. Okay? All right. Let's look at our vocabulary before we move on. Okay? Bisect. To cut in half. To bisect something is to cut it in half. And I think we all agreed the other day that if I have a square and I draw the diagonals, we bisect the angles. Was 90 degrees, now 45 degrees. Okay? Bisect, to cut in half. Okay? Consecutive or in a row. Okay? When we're talking about shapes, now this time let's use a rectangle. Okay? A rectangle, consecutive, in a row. This side and this side are in a row. They are consecutive. This angle and this angle are in a row. They're consecutive. Okay? Supplementary, two angles that add up to be 180. Okay? So 180 degrees. So the first thing is, let's draw a parallelogram. We draw a parallelogram. Two angles that add to 180. Well, in a square, 90 and 90. 90 plus 90 is 180. Those two angles are supplementary. But what happens if we have a different shape? If I take that shape and I take that shape, what happens if I take this shape and I reflect it, rotate it around? Can you see how I just created yes, 180 degrees. So these two angles are supplementary. Okay, let's do that again. Let's do that again. what happens if I take this one here, and that was over there? I'm going to move him down here. What happens if I take this guy and move him up here? These are also 180 degrees. What if I take this guy and I bring him back here? You see it? Isn't that cool? Nope. 180 degrees. 180 degrees. So consecutive angle, excuse me, two angles that add up to 180. How about complementary? How about complementary angles? Angles that add up to 90. Well, we'll go back to the square. And if we cut the square in half, right, we got 45 and a 45. Those two angles are complementary. Okay, so that's our vocab. Make sure you remember those words. You can write them in your notes. The assignment for today, we are going to actually look at each shape: the parallelogram, the rectangle, the rhombus, the square, the isosceles trapezoid, and the kite, and answer some questions. Okay, so our actual document that we're going to use is right here. You'll see it when you open up your homework. So let's get started and do a couple minutes, and then I'll make another video because that's what we talked about in class. Okay, opposite sides are parallel. Opposite parallelogram. Absolutely. So let's just grab that guy and say absolutely. Now, you can write okay or yes or just put a check mark. Okay? So only one pair of opposite sides. One pair. One pair. Only one. Whoa. Only one pair are parallel? No, no, yes. Oop. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides are parallel. Rhombus. No, yes. They are, aren't they? Yes. Isosceles. Opposite sides, not both. Okay. Only one pair. Nope. Not only one pair. Not only one pair. Opposite sides congruent. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. No. Okay. Now, the reason I drew this out the way I did is because sometimes it's nice to be able to draw it to see. Because if you can find one example where it's not true, right? Okay. If you can find one example that's not true, okay, so opposite sides parallel. Yep, 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 yep. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. That's what we talked about in class today. I would like you to take your practice time to finish filling out this chart, okay? There's 3 on this page: the parallelogram, the rhombus, and the isosceles trapezoid. On page 2, the rectangle, the square, and the kite. Opposite sides parallel. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so, and absolutely. And on the kite, no. No. Okay, only one pair of opposite sides are parallel. No, no, no. All right? Hopefully that was helpful. We'll see you Thursday when we go to the next step where we actually start to calculate angle measures based on the properties. See you then.